Okay guys, today we're going to talk to you about safely setting up, unfolding, unrolling, and setting up an inflatable and properly connecting everything and observing all the safety considerations for a basic inflatable. First and foremost, make sure that you are observing safety first and adult supervision at all times. We recommend for any inflatable working with more than one person. For basic inflatables, a good recommendation is about 2 people. The bigger the inflatable, the more people, obviously, because they're very heavy. Make sure that the area that you are setting this up is free from sharp objects or anything that could cause damage to the inflatable or to any participants bouncing on the inflatable. And always make sure that you have proper clearance above where the inflatable is, no power lines or trees or anything that could fall on people. Once you have the inflatable while it's still rolled up, position it so that as you unroll it, you don't have to move it again. In this case, we're going to be unrolling this in this position and setting it up right here in our parking lot for demonstration purposes only. So go ahead and we're going to unstrap and unroll this inflatable. Please save the strap, as these straps are very viable and very helpful for setting things up, rolling things up, and moving things in and out of vehicles. Once they've got it unrolled, they're going to spread it open to make sure that we have all of the inflatable completely laid out. Again, working in teams to help avoid issues for your back, it can be done very safely. Once the inflatable is completely laid out and you've got all the blow tubes exposed, all the corners where you can stake it down exposed, go ahead and at this time would be a great opportunity to go ahead and stake down your inflatable. Inflatable should have at minimum 4 stakes for the inflatable. Obviously here we're not going to be staking it into the asphalt, but under normal operations there should be stake spots at each corner of the inflatable. Go ahead and stake it down all the way down to the ground so the tip of the stake is basically in the ground, securing the strap itself on the inflatable. Once it is staked down, locate the blower tube on the inflatable and connect it to the blower prior to turning it on. Once the blow tube is around the blower opening, strap it down with the provided strap and ensure that it is completely holding. Ensure that the blower is in the off position and plug the power cord into your power source, in this case a portable generator. If you're having to use an extension cord, be sure that you're using at least a medium duty 14 gauge extension cord just to make sure that we're not overpowering, overloading the blower. The blower does pull quite a bit of amps, anywhere from about 18 up to about 20 amps, so it's 24 amps even, so it's quite a bit of power. We recommend the same breaker system if you're using it at your house as what you would use for your washer and dryer. Once your power source is hooked up and you got your blower hooked up, you can go ahead and turn on the blower to get air flowing into the inflatable. As the inflatable is blowing up, make sure you close all zippers and flaps to ensure that the air is remaining inside the inflatable. As the inflatable is blowing up, please walk around it to ensure that there's no places where a inflatable could be caught, or there's no flaps or zippers that you have missed are still open. A lot of times underneath the corners on the bottom of the inflatable are hidden flaps that get missed all the time. I highly recommend that once the inflatable gets to a good point where you feel confident lifting up the corners, lift up the corners and check to make sure that all the flaps are closed. Most inflatables will go up by yourself with minimal assistance. Before allowing any patrons to use the inflatable, do a safety check. I highly recommend that you go inside and do a roll around, bounce around, just to make sure that everything is good to go before you're introducing kids or people into the inflatable. Please read all inflatable instructions and obey safety rules, including do not use in temperatures less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit or in winds in excess of 15 miles per hour. Please no sharp objects in the inflatables and no silly string or other chemicals that could cause damage.